I had this YouTube lighting thing on and it was so bright, it was blinding my eyes, like literally, and it's very distracting. So I just decided to do away with it because this natural light is killing it on its own. Anyway, let's get started on this, man. There's been too many tries for an intro. Damn. Because, I mean, it's... What? Damn. Really? Good. You better stay there because I'm trying to get it done as fast as I can. This thing keeps on falling. Like, I just need it to be steady for like 3 minutes. So this is the part where I start regretting not getting a tripod when I could, but this will do for now. I wish you saw what was holding this board, but survival is key, like for real. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marcy and most of my friends prefer to call me Maxi, and so I'm going to do things that living abroad has taught me, and I extracted this directly from a famous Swahili phrase that says kitembea mingi ni kuona mingi. So it just basically means, directly translated, travel around and see for yourself, or like walk around and see. It's like just gaining exposure the more you put yourself out there and learning about people and culture, and yeah, however you want to translate it. So I had so much anticipation coming into the US. Like for once, Kenya is an English speaking country, so I thought that that was not going to be an issue. It wasn't going to be a challenge or a setback because I could communicate properly. So it wouldn't be like, oh, I'm coming and then I have to do like English classes and I have to struggle communicating with people, have to use a Google translator. Like that wasn't the issue. But there was some initial discomfort because like you're on your own, you're in a new place, you don't know anyone. The only people I knew was like my cousins, and they like lived I know 3 hours away, this like in another city but just within the same state. I was lucky enough to like come to the same state where they are, because I don't know how it would have been hadn't I known them. I mean, it would be very hard. So yeah, and I was just like trying to get into the rhythm. It was very hard at first trying to meet friends, because like for a week or so I didn't talk to anyone. I just like used to communicate with my cousin, and it was just on text because like I said, he lived like 3 hours away and they work and they're like busy during the week. So yeah, it wasn't very easy, if I could say. So so this is like my 8th month in this place, and I have grown to love it, and I love Florida, I love Tampa. Like I just love everything about this place. First things first, the weather is to die for. Like it's almost like we experience the tropical kind of weather. It's sunny, it's breezy, except for summer, which is very, very frustrating. It can be toasty sometimes, but you know, it's just summer is just 3 months, so can bear with that. So anyway, I digress. So getting back into this topic, so I'm just gonna line out a few of the lessons that I learned, things that I have learned living abroad. And the first thing is that common courtesy, like holding the door for the next person. So this is something that is not so common where I came from, and I am speaking this like it's my opinion. It's something that I am saying from my experience, not anybody else's experience. I don't want to be bashed like, oh, wewe kwani ulitoka wapi, hizo ni vitu za kwenu. So yeah, it's just based off my experiences and like things that I've gone through. So holding the door for the next person is not something quite common in Kenya, or just within the circle that I was. And like up here, it's like somebody like a diligent or just a conscientious person would definitely hold the door for you. If you're like 3 steps away, it's just be like, oh, okay, she's coming. I don't want to slam the door on her face. I'll just hold the door and wait for her to get in. And I know this can be something that has grown over time from social actions. It's just like, oh, he's a gentleman, okay, he sees a lady coming, and okay, it's just like the norm. It's the norm, like, I just hold the door for you to come through. Or it's just like personal trait, or just people like are very altruistic. Or I was going to school, there's this place, Marshall Center, like it's constant, there's constant moving in and moving out, and it's like a very busy place. So I was like 5 steps away, and this guy held the door, and I was like, okay, do I have to run because like he's holding it? So it's like, oh, no pressure, don't rush, I'm just holding it for you. And he held the door, and I was like 30 seconds away or something until I got to the door. And I thought that was very, very selfless and very thoughtful, and I think it just rubbed off on me. Usually I was just like the kind of person who would not hold the door for anyone. Like, I'm doing my, I'm about doing my errands, like I'm just thinking about me. I don't have to think about, oh, okay, you're coming, okay, should I hold this door for you? Like, that's part of my time wasted, and I don't know you that much. Like, I'm not just being selfish, it's just not something that I grew with, so I wouldn't think it's important to do that. And just sitting and observing, sometimes I'd sit there at the center and just observe people going in and going out. One person holds the door for the next person, and it goes on and on and on. And these like just simple acts of kindness that just rubs off on you. So I was just like, okay, it doesn't hurt to hold the door for anyone. If they're far, like, you could always just like leave it, which no one will hold it against you. But if you see somebody coming and you want to hold the door, then just go ahead and do it. So I think that is something that I have learned, and nowadays I'm just gonna hold the door for you. It don't matter if you're saying thank you or if you're not gonna say thank you, I will just hold it for you. And yeah, I'm just doing it because somebody else did it for me and it made me feel good. So I just want to be like that person who makes someone's day or brightens up someone's day with simple acts of kindness. So the second thing I have learned living abroad is freedom of expression. So this is something that is obviously very evident in all countries, in all places, in all spaces. Everybody is like free to speak, free to express what they feel or how they feel. So over time, I've just learned to speak my mind and not be shy with my thoughts. No matter how stupid or how silly they might sound in my head, I just let them out there. Like, somebody might pick up that thought and try to correct you from a point of love and just a point of correction. It's not trying to like be condescending or something like that. So yeah, back at home, I would never be like, oh, okay, this is what you've done and I don't appreciate it. It's just that I didn't like that kind of confrontation, and just living abroad has made me like be that person who speaks up more about something. Because if you don't speak up, nobody will ever know if you're hurting or if something's bothering you. And sometimes it's just good to like, bam, just drop your 10 or 2 cents out there. Whoever gets it, whoever grasps it, whoever will interpret however they wanted to interpret it, it doesn't really matter, as long as you just get whatever's bothering you out there. And another thing is that so it's very much okay, and it is very much normal if you're out there for a job interview. Don't shy away to ask how much are you going to pay me, and do not shy away to say how much you want to be paid. Like, majorly, like, I was like, again, like, I'm talking back at home, it should just be like, oh, okay, she's just here for the money. Of course, when you get employed, you're coming there because we need to pay our bills and we need to know how much you're going to pay us. And if I ask you that question in an interview, I'm not trying to be rude, or I'm not trying to be like just chasing or following money, because obviously I am. So I'm not just trying to make it obvious. I just need you to tell me how much you're going to pay me, and I'm going to lay it down and tell you how much I think I deserve to be paid based off of my experiences. And I'm just going to be bold and express it out there. So yeah, that's another thing that I have learned out here, and it's really a good thing. That's really a good thing. The third thing that I learned living abroad: clubs close at 2 or 3 depending on the state you're in. And I am such an outgoing person. Like, I'd literally like be the kind of girl who'd hit you up on Saturdays or Fridays, like, hey, what you doing tonight? I just want to go out and have a good time. Okay, I'm down. And then like maybe try to get ready by 10 and then leave the house at 11 or whatever, just after pregame. And then obviously we'd have like 11 to 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. back at home to like just have the whole time, having a good time, partying. Like, clubs go out when the sun's out. And yeah, I was so used to that. But coming here, I just learned that by 2 or 3, like, everybody's gotta be home, clubs gotta be closed. And that's a shock, because I'm like, how do you expect me to have a good time in a span of 3 hours? That's so limited. That's so limited for me. You know, I gotta interact, I gotta socialize, I gotta you know, I'm just trying to meet people out here. I just need more time, please. Yeah, the next thing that I've learned is timeliness. Yeah, so I usually tell people stuff to do with African timing, and when I say African timing, people get scared. It's like, oh yeah. Okay, if we say class is at 6:30, you bet it starts at 6:30 and not 6:31 and not 6:32 and not 6:29. 6:30 on the dot. If we say we are going on a trip and we are leaving at 6, my friend, you better be there before 6, so that by 6, when the bus is leaving, you're actually in the bus. Yep, so that's something that I never grew up with. So I'm just learning to be that person who's like very conscious of their time. So the other issue is on gender identity. And back in Kenya, like, same-sex marriages, same-sex relationships hasn't really been legalized. Like, Kenya is a very homophobic country. It's only like a few countries, almost 50% of countries in Africa have legalized same-sex marriages, and maybe 50% of it have not. And Kenya is one of the 50% countries that have not. It's only like countries like Seychelles, Mozambique, and say that have actually decriminalized gay marriages. And the LGBTQ community as a whole, they have like a growing momentum. So here in States, it's the same thing. They have like equality and inclusivity legislation that was passed, and it's something that is very open, it's very broad, it's very normal, and it's like, yeah. But I wasn't quite used to that, although I knew that they exist, and it didn't actually down on me because I didn't see that much. But from what I see from the news, that Kenya is making steps towards legalizing and having equality and gender inclusive laws, and that's actually a good thing, because I mean, we keep talking about equality, dignity, and freedom, and I think in all that we are supposed to include the LGBTQ community if we speak of equality. And yeah, that's just one of the things that I've had to deal with, and nowadays it's just like very normal to me. Somebody will just say I'm lesbian, I'm gay, and I wouldn't be like very shocked or like have a very hyperactive reaction and just make that person very uncomfortable. So yeah, we learn, we grow. So contrary to where I came from, I mean, we respect privacy. If you want privacy, I will give you privacy, but we don't really acknowledge it. It was usually like, you know, during my campus life, after class, we'd go out and hang out at our friend's place, and let me not speak on behalf of other people. I wouldn't really care if she wants her free space. I just like show up and be like, hey, I am here, niko hapa chini, please drop the keys. I know you're watching this, but yeah, I never really like considered if you ever got tired of us hosting us all the time. Like, we'd go out and literally all 4 or 5 or 3 of us would squeeze in one bed, and I mean, those were like some really fun times and fun days. But just coming to think of it right now from this other point of view, like, I think we invaded your privacy so bad and your space. But yeah, you never spoke about it. But that's another thing I came to realize. Like, out here, everybody just respect their time and space. If you want to meet me up at a certain time, just call me or text me or let me know. Don't just show up at my door like, who do you think you are? Allah? And and also like just publicly, like when you're in a queue, don't be too close to someone. That shit is annoying and it is, I don't know, just disrespectful. Like, stay away. Like, just keep some distance away, okay? Don't be too close or else I'll think you are trying to get creepy or you're trying to be, you're just trying to rob me. I know how to put it in a nice way. And then another thing is like when you're having a conversation, there is, don't be too close to my face. There's also like some distance that is needed when having a conversation, especially with people that you don't know or somebody you're meeting for the first time, or else they will like just interpret it differently. And also boundaries are not to be crossed. Like, this is my boundary. I define it by a certain measure and you have to respect it. If you cross it, then it's just, and let me say that I am in Florida and this is that state you don't want to mess with anyone's space, because there's that stand your ground thingy. I'm not gonna go into details with that. I'm usually the kind of person who gets so comfortable, especially if like you're my friend, and I was just like, some things I don't really have to tell you. Like if I want to meet you up and I know you're in the house, I just pop up and show up and just try to have a good time. So I didn't really think it was necessary to even let your friends know if you're like showing up, unless you know they're out of the country and you want to find them. But I'm just coming to respect that. Even if I'm very comfortable around you, even if I trust you so much, even if we have a very tight bond, there are some things that I still have to let you know before I do them. Another thing is that in public places, don't touch anyone's kid. Don't do anything to anyone's kid. If you can smile, but let that be it. Don't do anything else, because some things are very illegal here and could get you a lifetime in jail. I know, it's not like back in Kenya, it's like, oh, Kuchi, you're so cute. Oh, can I carry her? Oh boy, do not even try to do that somewhere like here. Another thing regarding personal space, do not go through or touch anyone's belongings. Like, you would find somebody put a handbag in a seat where you want to like sit on. You'd rather just get another seat or wait for that person to come and put that bag somewhere else. Or else, my friend, I am telling you this, the moment you touch that bag, oh my god, that person holds the right. Wait, holds the right to what? I lost track of the count, but just pick what you need to pick as we move, okay? Another thing is that credit is very important. So whenever you get the chance, if you are qualified for a credit card, get one and start building your credit score. It is good for you. It is good for everyone in the US. It is like considered a measure of reliability, and somebody without a credit score is a very high risk person. So there is no chance, even if you wanna rent an apartment, you will ever get approved, because they're like, we don't know if you're gonna like be able to pay this rent. We don't know if, like, we just need some sort of identity. It's either we need your social number or we need to see your credit score. Those are some of the like very important things out here in the US that I've learned. And also having a credit score is very good because it increases your chances of earning, it increases your chances of like getting approved for loans, for vehicle asset financing, and it's just like overall increases your chances of getting wealth out there. So you better make sure that you have a credit card that increases your credit scores like with each and every lending. Aside timeliness, another thing is planning, like having an actual planner, like a to-do list. So if you have like a list of activities for your next days and for your next and next day and all the other days, you are better off having it written down somewhere and having it crossed off as you approach or like as you complete each and every activity. Because if you don't have a planner, chances are that you will forget, and that won't look good on you. Because as I said, it's like in the US, it's very strict with planning and timekeeping and all that. You don't want to miss out on an appointment that you set just because you didn't remember. Like, that will sound so rude and it will have you looking so bad. And yeah, so I never used to think like, okay, I knew that tomorrow I'm gonna meet up with my friend and tomorrow I'm gonna like go to the doctors or go to the dentist or whatever, but I never thought that actually writing them down would be a good way to plan ahead. And just like in general, it's very fulfilling just putting stuff down in your planner and having them completed by the end of the day, and just looking back and thinking, okay, I had all this set out for the day and I met them and I made it to each and every activity that I had said to do. Yeah, that's another thing that is very new to me. I mean, I'm learning, like I said, and I am very grateful for all these lessons. Yes, and almost coming to the end of this video, and I have also learned that there are friends and there are acquaintances. So there are people that you know that you cannot miss to say hi when they cross your path, but they are acquaintances. And this is something I never understood before. So you met somebody in a party, fine. You said hi, fine. You talked for 3 minutes, fine. You see that person the next day, they will pass you like they don't know you. And I'll be like, hiya, hey, you don't remember me? Hey, don't ever do that, man. People be just legit, they will ignore you like you don't exist. They ignore you so hard you will doubt your existence. I don't know. So yeah, just don't do that. Those are our acquaintances, and it's just that we met at this point and it was great, but we are not friends. Okay, so that's it. That's just about it. Do not force issues. Yes, customer service is the best. Living abroad has taught me that customer service attendants are the best people in the entire world. It might actually be one of the hardest jobs in this entire world, because you have to be nice to people, you constantly have to be kind, you constantly have to be soothing. Like, sometimes that person is going through a hard day, but their job puts them at this spot where they have no say. They are like, there's no other way around it. You just have to be nice because it's the company's reputation on the line. And every time I make a call to this customer service, like, there's a couple of times Amazon has crossed me badly. There's a couple of times like the mail people have crossed me badly, and I just call and I'm so frustrated. I'm like, what do you mean? You said it's gonna be here by 8. And then they're just like, no, we're sorry, ma'am. Like, they just try to calm you down and soothe you until you're like, okay, there's not really a point of being rude and loud. I just listen to this person because anyway, it's not their fault. It's just chances of circumstances. So yeah, you just have to understand and just try to make everything okay. And they'll try to give you like a compensation or like codes, like get off discounts off your next shopping. And yeah, it's just good. It just gives you that kind of like good feeling where you know, if I buy this thing and it doesn't work for me the next time, I'll just call and then they'll just set everything right. Yeah, and I love that about living abroad. So that's one of the things I've learned. Another thing I've learned is self-development, and this is investing in yourself. You are the greatest resource you can ever find. So it is good to constantly like invest in yourself, constantly build on your characters and abilities, and yeah, just try to manage yourself effectively. Those are like very key things in this life. And the more you build yourself based off of your character and your abilities, you're more likely to be like a very proactive person. You'd start like seeing that it's very important actually to get things done, and that you can actually be the one to get these things done, and you'd start initiating the process rather than just sitting there and waiting for things to like happen to you. And that's the path, or that's rather the trajectory that I'm going through right now. Personal development is also about patience. Like, at the exact time you might not be pursuing your objective, but the process is rather rewarding. So at the end of it all, everything will make sense. But at the moment, just learn to be patient with everything that comes your way and try to handle everything just efficiently, effectively, and yep, very much worthy. I'm also going through a phase where I'm just trying to make everything around me beautiful, and starting with taking intentional care of myself. I'm taking care of my nails. Like, I had this habit of biting my nails and I just stopped because my best friend suggested that I should stop. Otherwise, I don't think I would. But it feels great to actually have had a habit and forcing myself to quit. It's a great deal. It's a very great deal. Another thing is that I'm trying to like recreate my space, make it more fuzzy, warm, and comfy for me. And so far, what you can see in the background is what I am doing at the moment, but it's not yet complete. So maybe the next few videos I'll show you like a full tour of this room. It's just like very small, but yeah, I'll just take the chance and show you like what I came up with and how I'm trying to decorate my space. Yeah, there is so much to learn, like so much to learn, and I'm sure like as I keep progressing in this life, traveling to other places, to new countries, traveling to other states, I will obviously be meeting new people, and they will try to teach me life from different perspectives, from different angles that I have never thought about. And I'm actually looking forward to this journey in my life. And I'm just trying to like encourage anyone out there who like at the moment feels like you are at a place where you're not progressing, where there's no evolution at all. Just be patient with yourself and try to take a day at a time. Write down what you want to do and let it be pragmatic. Start from a very realistic point of view. Yep. To somewhere like you want to be in a few years from now. And every day as you progress into life, just cross out what you are accomplishing, and that will really help you a great deal. So from that being said, I'm actually very new to YouTube, and if you'd like to suggest this video to a friend who you think it might help, who you think is traveling abroad and needs to know what they need to do, I would be very grateful. And until next time, bye.